What do you say you and I take advantage of this super slow Smash news period we're in, and take this time to celebrate all that was great in Smash Ultimate's first Fighters Pass? Joker, Hero, Banjo, Terry, Byleth. Their stages, music, spirits. We're gonna cover pretty much everything here. Except for like their classic mode, I guess. Look, it's hard enough to get me to care about spirits. I actually wanted to rank the challenger packs in the same video that I ranked the original games of the challenger packs. Card if you haven't seen that one. But then Byleth decided to come out a week and a half after his presentation, and I got busy with other stuff and yada yada yada. One last thing. Instead of how I did it in my last video where I talked about the games from my least favorite to favorite, this time I want to go over the challenger packs in order of release. I'll give them a score out of 10, so by the end we'll be able to line up my ranking of the best challenger packs in the first Smash Ultimate Fighters Pass. Sound good? Well, it probably doesn't sound quite as good as Persona music. Okay, so when a game makes you sit through 100 hours of turn-based, dungeon crawly, dating sim, life sim, anime, high school, power fantasy, JRPG combat foolery, then that game better have a buttload of callbacks and references when it gets into Smash to make that time invested even more worth it. Luckily, Joker brought the most and, in my opinion, best nods and references to his source material woven both in and out of gameplay. The Arsene mechanic doesn't really line up with how it operated in P5, but besides that, the costumes, the windscreens, the final smash, the red that trails his knife, the purple splashes as you walk on the stage, the voice line at the results screen, the portrait reflecting if his mask is on or off, all of the Phantom Thieves chiming in for a victory. The UI, end screen, and win theme all react to the music that was on the Persona stage, and I promise I'll stop now. And that's just the stuff I thought of off the top of my head as I write this script in bed. All of this is wrapped up in who is, at the time of writing this video, commonly considered one of, if not the best character in all of Ultimate. And if we're treating him as the best character in the game, Joker is my favorite best character a Smash game has ever had. While Joker, or more specifically Arsene, could certainly use some adjustments, the character has a lot of neat looking moves and strings to pull off, he animates extremely well, and I have yet to tire of watching him in tournament. However, if Joker didn't have Arsene, who I do consider to be way too good and kills a lot of the fun of the character for me, Joker would be my favorite character to play as in this pass. And maybe my main, honestly, if I still played competitively, that is. But that's enough about the boy. Joker brought with him maybe the best spirits in the whole Fighters Pass and tying for the most spirits. The way they pull off the Phantom Thieves as well as their personas is extremely creative, and the last three were a solid challenge. I'm not entirely sure what angle to approach the spirits from when I compare and contrast what I think the best spirits in the Fighters Pass were. I think the two angles to look at it from are how accurate the spirit battle is to the original character, as well as how creative of a spirit battle it is, in terms of feeling like a unique Smash challenge that you can't get anywhere else. And I think the Persona 5 spirits were a great success at both of those. A spirit or two from Persona 3 or 4 would be nice, but I don't really care. Now, I promise I won't go off on all the neat little touches that his stage Mementos has. The only one I'll call out here is how it reacts to the music, not only giving it the staple color of the game the track is from, but also some iconic imagery from the game to really sell the feel. The Phantom Thieves showing up is of course a great touch to an honestly very simple stage, and I really appreciate that simplicity when compared to the wackiness we got from the other stages. And it would have made such a great double stage too if it just didn't have that incline. And the rare few times I decide to turn stage hazards on, the walls, platform, and subways that occasionally make their way onto the stage equally add to both the gameplay and the visual flair of the stage, and that's obviously the best part about it. Bringing the iconic visual style of Persona 5, the thing it's probably most famous for, to Smash. The stage certainly stands out in a beautiful way on the stage select screen. If the style isn't what Persona 5 is known for, then it would certainly be the music, and while Joker's track list is nowhere near the bountiful splendor that a certain wolf brought with him, it's still Persona music. Tied for the second largest amount of music from any character in the pass. Most of the Persona 5 hits are here, pretty much the only one missing is Life Will Change, which is odd given that that's the music that played for Joker's reveal trailer. And I could also list like 10 more tracks from P5 I would've liked to see, but the lineup is solid, with Our Beginning being the only questionable pick to me. The Persona 3 and 4 tracks are great flavor as well, but I haven't really heard the P4 music yet since I haven't played that game yet and don't want the music spoiled for me before I do. I also gotta call out that this pack probably has the most popular remix we got in the Fighters Pass. It's pretty impossible to pick a favorite Smash cover, but Beneath the Mask is certainly in the running. Probably top 2 most iconic Ultimate covers alongside Gangplank Galleon. Both done by Ace if you didn't know, and I honestly do not know how this world is worthy of getting Persona music covered by the Xenoblade composers. But yet it exists, we have it, and it's probably worth the price of the Fighters Pass alone. I think Challenger Pack 1 with Joker from Persona 5 was a rock solid 9 out of 10. If the music collection was slightly bigger, and if Arsene was implemented maybe a little differently, both in design and balance, it would have been a 10. And you know what number comes after 10? Probably the biggest and most important franchise to be brought to Smash through the Challenger Pack, Dragon Quest, with 4 different heroes of Dragon Quest. Yes, his music selection sucks. Like, really bad. I guess that's just how it's gonna work with Square. I thought the MIDI version sounded alright when I first downloaded him, but now that I have heard the Dragon Quest XI OST, yeah, this is kinda trash in comparison. Also, his spirits, not too special. Most of them are pretty predictable in standard fights. Although his last one was easily the hardest DLC spirit for me to get, and that challenge I do appreciate. But of course, that's not what people want to hear you talk about when you talk about Hero in Smash Ultimate. They just want you to talk about that delicious, searchable, clickbaitable Hero band drama. I'm not going to talk about that here. Hero's an absolute blast casually. One of my favorite characters to play in free-for-all, and getting to play as 4 Dragon Quest heroes is really sweet. I think Hero translates classic JRPG mechanics to this fighting game about as well as Ryu and Ken translated their classic arcade fighting games. Crit hits, MP, dozens of spells, even OHKOs. Things that you normally wouldn't see in a fighting game. Now, is this character good for the health of Smash as a fighting game? Heck no, Hero. This character is awful for tournaments, and in that respect, it is one of the worst characters Smash has ever seen. But this really isn't too much of an issue for me when 1, the character does what he was meant to do so well as is, and 2, barely anyone plays Hero for real. So rarely does his idiocy ever get the chance to interfere with the hardcore side of Smash play. Like, yeah, he probably should be banned until the language barrier isn't an issue anymore, but who cares? Tilting people a full 90 degrees with thwack is just too much fun for me to care. Speaking of not great for tournaments, his stage is beautiful, just look at it. It makes me want to go play Dragon Quest XI right now. Most of the DLC stages chose to show off the characters of their series, and I'm a little surprised they didn't do that here. The Tockles and Slime don't count. Instead, we get to tour the overworld of Erdrea from Dragon Quest XI. I will admit, before, this was just a pretty looking stage, and I liked the platform layouts it cycled through. But now that I've played the game, I really love getting to see all of these locations in Smash. Not many Smash stages can give you the satisfaction of reliving a world you've explored before, at least not to this scale. There are certainly some bumps on the road with Hero and Challenger Pack 2, but he shines where it counts most, and in those areas, he shines brighter than most characters in this game. Challenger Pack 2, the hero from Dragon Quest, gets a 7 out of 10. Challenger Pack 3, Banjo and Kazooie from Diddy Kong Racing. Yeah, this pack gives off a weird vibe in the room when compared to the others, doesn't it? So when I do more opinionated videos like this, I often reach out to my friends to get a variety of opinions to see if there's a perspective that can enlighten my own thoughts on a subject, or just see how different people resonate with different aspects of video games. And when I asked my friends what their favorite Challenger Pack was and why, this is the only one that was never brought up. Doesn't really feel like it's viewed in the same light in the public eye as the others. The least amount of spirits, a stage with an awkward gimmick of rotating on an axis, which if it doesn't make you motion sick, just looks awkward as it transitions from one lackluster platform layout to the next, almost all of which encourage some annoying variety of camping. The stage visually is nice enough, but lacks the colorful pop that a lot of the others have, which is probably intentional as it is based on an N64 game which have a habit of featuring gross color palettes. The cameos for the original games are certainly there, though it is awkward how many of them are relegated to the background, almost impossible to fully appreciate without literally pausing the game and looking around with the camera. Works good for great big stationary buildings on the Dragon Quest stage, doesn't work as well with tiny, blocky characters desperately waving at you for attention. The music on the stage is odd for me as well. Banjo has 10 tracks with 7 remixes. That is a fantastic number of cover tracks, and for the purposes of this video when I was rating the packs, I left it at that. One of the smaller track lists, but with a sizable helping of covers. But if I can speak purely of my own opinion for a second, 3 of the 5 characters in this Fighter's Pass had comments from Sakurai essentially saying something to the effect of the character's music doesn't really fit the mood of Smash. And Banjo-Kazooie is the only instance where I agree and kinda see it as a problem. I find a lot of the music really awkward within gameplay. The remix of his main theme especially sounds pretty terrible to me. It sounds like some 7 AM cartoon desperate to maintain the attention of the 3-year-olds who have to watch it because it's what their parents put on and they don't know how to control the TV yet. Spiral Mountain is solid, Treasure Trove is okay, but that's about it for me. Enough of my stupid opinion. Let's talk about Banjo-Kazooie! They are certainly faithful to their original game with tons of nods and references packed in for those who want to consume it. There are some solid concepts and animation within this character, and I'm pretty much just gonna leave it at that. Of course, there is a lot to talk about with Banjo and Kazooie that I am not so subtly scooting around. I mean, look, plenty has already been said and will continue to be said about this character, and honestly, I have enough to say on the matter that it really could be its own video. I'll probably never end up making that video because I try not to make things that skew too negative too often, but if I have to briefly go over the highlights, Banjo and Kazooie have a lot of the problems that Smash Ultimate character design suffers from jam-packed into one astonishingly obnoxious package. The sounds these characters make, it didn't work for me in the original game, and it certainly doesn't work for me here. And that's all the anger I feel like pouring onto this character, who I feel already gets too much hate as is. Maybe I'll talk about him another time. Bye! By the way, I hope I'm not building a reputation for myself of absolutely hating Banjo-Kazooie. You know, the game didn't really work for me, and they had an unfortunate entry in the Fighter's Pass. But I sincerely hope that I'm not dampering anyone's excitement for this character or love for this game, or feel like I'm attempting to attack or invalidate the people that do genuinely love this game and love this challenger pack in Smash. That is certainly not my intention, and I do hope that there is more love for Banjo in Smash than what I've observed online. But with that said, yeah, it's like the worst pack in the game. It's like a 4 out of 10. Best Challenger Pack in the whole Fighter's Pass. We made it! Challenger Pack 4, Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury, featuring all of SNK. I'm getting hyped all over again just thinking about it. The 4th Challenger Pack, in my opinion, easily held the most value. More music tracks than every other Challenger Pack combined, even outnumbering the number of tracks of the next most plentiful character with his remixes alone. His stage famously introduces a whole new mechanic to play with that a lot of us have been waiting for. I mean, who hasn't just made a giant box in Stage Creator? And now we not only have one that's a real stage with the most background cameos of any DLC character, but it actually makes the idea of a box stage work around the mechanics of Smash. It's simply brilliant. Terry easily takes first place in the music and stage category, but how is the character himself? He's okay! Nah, he's actually super cool. Not everyone loves how the fighting game dudes control in Smash, and I get it. I'd never bring one to a tournament, but it's certainly an archetype that I get in the mood for from time to time, and Terry is another great addition to this 3-man fighter squad. Sticking charge inputs and pretzel commands into a Smash character not only tickles my fighting game fancy, but it's also just great representation for the character and genre. As far as representing the character in the context of Smash, Terry is up there with Joker and Hero as characters that I think not only nail the translation, but go above and beyond in ways that I never would have anticipated, with one of the most purely fun to mess around with characters the past has. He is a nightmare to fight one-on-one and isn't the healthiest character competitively by any means, but hey, that's kind of just become a common theme across most of these DLC characters, hasn't it? Also, his spirits are kind of whatever, probably a tick above Heroes, but that's about it. I can see how these types of characters struggle to translate over to adaptations within the Smash roster, but yeah, doesn't change the fact that I don't go back to refight these guys too often. Man, I hate those spirits if only for the fact that they prevent me from giving Terry a perfect 10 out of 10. But still, he is easily the best pack in the whole Fighter's Pass with the most value behind it, and is as close to perfect as we've seen so far. Challenger Pack 4 with Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury is like a 9.9 out of 10. 9.99 out of 10. Infinitely repeating. Byleth is the character from Fighters Pass 1 that I play as the most. I think he is easily the healthiest character the pass got, although it is hard to say if I like him more than Joker. You know what, I definitely like Joker more, but Arsene on top of Joker might knock him down below Byleth. But regardless, I definitely play Byleth more. I just love him. Them. Sorry if I accidentally say him instead of them. It's a tough habit to break when you play as the same 3 male alts the entire time. While Byleth is still relatively new to the game, so my thoughts on them can and will change as time goes on. Right now, I think they are a beautifully balanced character with a lot of unique tools that I love to mess with. I hesitate to give Byleth points for finally representing the other main weapons of Fire Emblem. Just feels like something that should have been a given for the Fire Emblem roster a long time ago and isn't really that remarkable in the grand scheme of Smash Bros. But certainly it makes a Fire Emblem character that I am actually happy to have on the roster, which in its own way is remarkable. They also have, in my opinion, the best alts of any DLC character. It is the only character in the Fighters Pass where I think each and every alternate color is a hit. Alts as in just the color variations, obviously Hero wins if you're just talking costumes overall. But even more important than Byleth's aesthetics are that of his stage, and man, I love Three Houses, I adore that game, but it is ugly. Like almost inexcusably so. So getting to see this incredible location that I know and love like it's my own house, rendered in a competent looking game, is a really wonderful treat. Also wonderful, but a little weird to me, is the cameos. We got Gatekeeper, which is incredible, but I'm a little surprised they didn't go ahead and do all of the students. I get it, they probably would have if they had the time or resources to do it, but it just feels weirdly incomplete to me now. The choices themselves are rather odd too. For example, Dimitri and Claude have their retainers, Dedue and Hilda, but Edelgard's retainer Hubert didn't make it. I kind of understand, of course the Black Eagles are definitely the biggest waifu bait class, and also I just don't like Hubert. He does not deserve to be in Smash. But that's just one of the few weird things with the roster they chose. It's all good. I got Ingrid, and I can be happy with that. Rip Felix, Leone, and Linhardt. I still love you. The Fire Emblem Three Houses spirits are probably my second favorite next to Personas. The house leaders especially are perfect with the Byleth alts, and Reyes gave me a good laugh too with something I was not expecting because I didn't pay close enough attention to the spirit start screen. The music is pretty great as well, only one remix, but not only is it one of the strongest remixes in the Fighters Pass, but Three Houses music is already so good that remixes were not necessary at all. In fact, I might have been a little bummed out if a remix of a track ended up replacing the original getting in. I thought we might get a battle remix of the Garreg-Mach theme since we are fighting there, but oh well, it's still great. This pack is just solid. Not a ton is particularly incredible, but every component does its job great. Well done, Professor. Challenger Pack 5, Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses gets an 8 out of 10. It's just plain good. And with that, we can finally line up my ranking of the 5 best Challenger Packs in Smash. Wow, I hate how similar that is to my ranking of the games from the Fighters Pass. I kinda wish I had considered this possibility before I put so much effort into this video. It's kinda too late in the production process to scrap this video. I've already scrapped 2 other videos since the last one I released, so time to go lay in bed and consider if I have let my bias cloud my judgment when objectively analyzing the content of Smash Bros. Putting that aside, I am so thankful that you decided to spend part of your day with me. Of course, as I typically do, I would love to hear your opinions down below. Send me your ratings and/or ranking of the Challenger Packs. Let's compare and contrast some opinions. Thanks again, pal. Later.